You planned a robbery on a fucking iPhone? Well, Chloe, what's the big deal? It seems like this screenplay was just scribbled out on a napkin. And then the writer said, here, studio, please give us some money so we can take this logical premise to new heights or maybe down to the depths of hell, which is where Play Dead should have been. Ah! This was directed by Patrick Lussier, who did Dracula 2000, Dracula 2, Dracula 3. Yes, there were 2 other movies that came out after Dracula 2000. Christ knows why, because besides Vitamin C, the movie is fucking awful. He also did White Noise 2. Yes, they did a sequel to White Noise. I don't know why, but nevertheless, why not just give people work, even if a sequel to White Noise is something that literally nobody besides a studio head with their face down in a goddamn cocaine pile would be asking for. Or meth pile, I don't know. He also did My Bloody Valentine 2009 version that was fun and entertaining and, yeah, illogical and stupid, but was fun. I mean, the 1981 version was also stupid, but nevertheless, he also did Drive Angry. That was about the last prominent thing that he did. His IMDb page shows that he's done a few projects since then. And this comes to us from the writers of movies like Songbird, that I heard about, haven't had a chance to see, and The Visitor, that I really ragged on. The Visitor is currently available on Prime as of this recording, and reminded me of The Skeleton Key if you took anything good about The Skeleton Key, i.e. nothing, and made it somehow worse. But that's okay, just because these guys wrote a movie that I didn't care for doesn't mean they don't have talent. So how is Play Dead? Well, let's see what the premise of Play Dead is. I mean, okay, let's see what it is. Chloe, played by Bailey Madison, who was a little girl in Bridge of Terabithia, and Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, and she was also in Strangers Pray at Night. You know, the Stranger sequel that we wanted well before we got Strangers Pray at Night. And that was shit. That was real bad. Bailey needs to get an agent to get her better roles than these, because these are not going to help her at all. And also Jerry O'Connell plays the Coroner. And he does some of his best acting for a while, because he doesn't say a goddamn word. He just does shit by looking around. And Chloe is a criminology student that finds out that her brother, T.J. Albright, played by Anthony Turpel, or Turpel, I don't really know. Not sure how to pronounce his name. He gets involved in a robbery with a former ex-flame of Chloe, a guy named Ross, who ends up dead. And basically, it turns out that he's going to go to jail. TJ, not Ross, because Ross is dead. And Chloe says, well, shit, we're going to lose the house. I'm going to get you out of this. I'm going to inject myself with propofol and Adderall, and then I'm going to play dead and break into this morgue, and then I'm going to get the phone that you guys planned this crime on, and then I'm going to destroy the phone or delete the stuff or whatever I'm going to do. And then it turns out that the coroner, played by Jerry O'Connell, actually has his own weird shit that he's doing. And oh no, it's a game of cat and mouse between idiot and even bigger idiot, and the biggest idiot is whoever thought funding Play Dead was a good idea. I think the napkin analogy was actually a little bit off, because it's not like it was a restaurant quality napkin or a McDonald's quality napkin or Wendy's or from a dive diner, maybe not even a Denny's napkin. I think it was a napkin from an adult film theater, a used napkin from an adult film theater, a used napkin from an adult film theater that was condemned back in the 1970s, or maybe it was the same one that Paul Rubens was caught in. What's the secrete word? Haha! Yeah, have fun on seeing that. Because there is no way that anybody could have looked at this and said, oh yeah, this is a great goddamn idea, but you know what we should do? We should take this halfway, not even implausible doesn't begin to cover it because of the medical bullshit and everything and all that, and the fact they try to make it like Hostel and everything else. Let's just take this implausible premise, not even make it comedic, let's make it as bad as possible. Let's stretch the fucking thing out to 105 minutes. An hour and 45 minutes was devoted to something that barely has enough material for half that. There were lengthy scenes where people were wandering around or people were being caught in certain situations, and once the twist gets revealed, it's not shocking at all. And implausibility is not a death nail for anything in the horror genre, because you need implausibility, you need ridiculousness, you need also characters that you care about and reasons to want these characters to succeed or die. The only thing that this movie gives is a reason for me to want every character to die horribly, die within the first bit, and then take everybody else and execute them. You know, in the back, with a bullet in the back of the head. I'm sorry, but I don't mean the people. I'm not even saying the people involved in this are bad people. This is unfathomably bad. This is just so terrible, so goddamn terrible. The premise alone dictates that, like, my God, this somehow this somehow can't get any worse than the premise. Oh, it does. Believe me, it does. And then it tries to throw a third act twist that everybody can see coming. It just, Jesus. Everything about this is terrible. The acting is shit from people that aren't that bad at acting. The writing is terrible. The dialogue is some of the worst shit. I swear people must have been held at gunpoint when they were writing this. Or, hey, we want you to write this, but make it worse. We know you came up with something that actually had good dialogue. We want you to make it worse. And, oh, yeah, Patrick, you've done some big budget movies. We're going to give you a fraction of that, and please make this. We're not holding your family hostage or anything. We're not going to do that. Me just accusing this studio of this, or one of the 10 studios, by the way, that had something to do with this. Maybe not 10, but there was a lot of studios. Yeah. Chloe's an idiot. TJ's an idiot. The coroner's a fucking idiot. Everybody's just really stupid in this. And it ends up being just fucking terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. So yeah, I'm going to get into spoilers here. I did pay a few bucks to rent this on Amazon, by the way, because even though I ended up hating the movie, I'm not going to pirate something. I will make sure to throw a few of my own dollars towards it because whatever. They put some effort into it. It was about that much, but they made it. People deserve to get paid, so more people need to rent stuff. Rent this stuff. Even if it's bad, you're putting money in the actors' pockets. They can go on and do bigger and better things. The filmmakers, the writers, they can do things better, hopefully better than Play Dead. I can't imagine we get much worse than Play Dead. It's not even, it's funny, but not in the sense like, oh, wow, they're going the comedy route. No, it's just funny because you have to laugh, because if you don't laugh, you're going to hate yourself. Like I hated myself watching Play Dead. I am going to get into spoilers just so you know, but it is available on Amazon for a little bit. It does come to us from Tubi Films, but was not available on Tubi at the time, so whatever. Throw a few bucks. Tubi needs to try putting more effort into shit. But nevertheless, let's get into spoilers. 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. Okay. So yeah, Chloe comes up with the perfect idea after it turns out that their dad had psychotic episodes and his death was ruled a suicide, so they didn't get the insurance money, and they're going to lose the house and all that. TJ has a massive stutter, speech impediment, and he confesses to the crime, even though, it's like, oh, he ditched the car and he burned it, but then, oh shit, Ross's phone is here, so we need to go get that phone. OD propofol and everything, and to get in, and no, that was easy to get. It was simply easy to get in because they just found the body and immediately, boop, went to the morgue. And then Jerry O'Connell it turns out that Jerry O'Connell is just doing this to do organ harvesting. That's the reason he's doing it. Why? It's big money. And there's a courier named Mannix, that comes around. And yeah, he comes around to get the stuff, and that's pretty much it right there. And gets big money, and Mannix, takes off. So, there was a weird ring that Jerry O'Connell's character had. I thought maybe we were going for, he was going to be working with the devil or a demon. Nope, it wasn't even that. It was a mood ring, or a class ring, or something I don't really goddamn know. And then for a while, Chloe's just wrapped in a bed sheet going around because, she had her clothes stripped off of her and everything, and ends up getting scrubs, the scrubs that don't get no love from me, nor does this movie. And then Mannix shows up. You gonna keep Mannix up all night? Because Mannix just keeps showing up. Yeah, if anybody gets the Mannix reference, I love you guys. Alright, so organ harvesting and all that. And it turns out that these patients are still alive. They're taken from the hospital to satiate and satisfy his desire to kill people that he feels are irredeemable and bad people and everything. And he gets on this whole big discussion, this flowery discussion of, my God, it's terrible how you guys act and everything. It's like you guys think that you can just coast through life and you can just basically make it difficult for hardworking people like myself to do this. And how dare you? And I'm going to kill you and I'm going to do that. That's basically what he says. Ross is somehow alive, but got an organ taken out of him. But Ross is alive. So then they're going to get his phone. That didn't work. That didn't work about getting the phone. I'm going to refer to my notes here. But basically, your current being is less than the sum of your parts. Oh, because he's harvesting skin, harvesting organs, liver, heart, kidneys. Yeah, Super Argo does seem kind of dumb, but I'm sure he knows what internal organs are. And I wrote down this does not need to be 105 minutes, and that was about halfway through the movie that I wrote that down. She gets trapped and then frees herself while he's cutting into another body. Ross is dead because he gets his heart cut out. Also, Jerry O'Connell's coroner has a dog that factors in a little bit later. And a little bit earlier, something I forgot to mention, there was a fun little bit of gunplay between Ross and TJ, where it was a fake gun, and it shot a little BB thing. You'll shoot your eye out. Well, that gun was brought into evidence, and then Chloe uses it to hit the coroner right in the eye, and Jerry O'Connell has a bloody eye. No, he can't really see. Yet somehow he's fine, I guess. And there you go. So she's trying to get away. She tries to get the keys. She tries to do all this stuff. He ends up getting on the PA and like, you know what? It's like, your brother is going to be like a June bug in jail. You know why they call them June bugs? They only live for about 6 months. And he's just like a supervillain spouting this ridiculous shit. He has a dog. He has the sheet with her scent on it, and sends him after her. And then she calls the brother. The brother decides to call the sheriff that was investigating the crime of Ross's body earlier. And it turns out that the sheriff's in on the whole goddamn thing. Why? Because he gets his cut. I guess being a sheriff doesn't pay that well. Especially not in a movie like Play Dead. But first he says he hates this coroner. He wants to take this coroner down, put a boot up his ass. Serve him justice. And then there was an electrified fence portion that TJ gets shocked on, and then Chloe grabs and shocks the dog away. So the dog actually just runs away. And then they have a point where they get into the basement. Mannix arrives, gets shot in the liver, and because he sees the cop, and then, oh no, he's going to say something, even though he's getting a lot of money for this stuff. So he gets shot. And then they decide, too many pronouns, pal, sorry Vince McMahon, the sheriff and Jerry O'Connell's coroner decide to tear gas Chloe and everybody out. The dog, meanwhile, has just run off completely. Well, actually, that's unfair because she uses I believe it was a liver or something like that, to throw, and then traps the dog and everything before this. They reason with Mannix, who offers to get the money if they get him out of there. And then they're trying to get to the sheriff among the tear gas. Chloe doesn't have a mask, but everybody else does. So she's coughing like crazy. TJ gets tased, as it were. He's taken to have his organs harvested. And then Chloe has an oxygen tank, or has a propane tank, and she hits it, and it flies right into the face of the sheriff, killing him. And then she has to get her brother, and she ends up using the freezing tank, the spray and everything, to freeze Jerry O'Connell's face, and then he smashes it on a table, and half his face is gone. He's got the eye open up and exposed and everything. He's like he's Two-Face. Ha 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 ha. And then Mannix ends up stabbing him, and then he throws a knife to Chloe, or slides it, and she stabs him in the skull. And earlier, Jerry O'Connell had said, "Oh, it's like, they're the disease, I'm the cure." And then she says, "I'm the cure." And then they steal Jerry O'Connell's liver. They send the dog in there to eat his body while they make way with the liver. And they've got $25,000 in their bank that apparently will help them save their house. That was Play Dead, everybody. That was Play Dead. This movie sucked. Terribly. How dare you, Play Dead? How dare you? Whatever, still paid a few bucks for it. I'm glad I didn't pirate it because I'm not going to pirate movies. I'm going to pay money even if I hate the movie. It gets an F. Gets an absolute F. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Recklin. I'll see you soon.